I say we get stuff going on the road here. Start it on up. Talk about it. Turn it up a little bit. Perfect.
This is a very rambunctious crowd. This is a rambunctious crowd. Well, hello, Tucson. It's great to be with you. I love this place. We've been very successful here, as you know, and I'm thrilled to be back in the great state of Arizona with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's why this is a nice group. I like it. Look at all those people. Wow. As everyone saw 2 nights ago, we had a monumental victory over Comrade Kamala Harris in the presidential debate.
It's been tough.
We won big with independent voters, moderates, Republicans, and working people all across this nation, putting forward a clear vision to, very simply, make America great again.
I sure will.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris showed up spewing empty rhetoric, the same old lies, meaningless platitudes, offering no plans, no policies, and no details whatsoever. Nothing. The two anchors.
That is so true. She legit didn't say anything important in that debate at all.
She didn't really talk policies. That's
Yeah.
what didn't happen. She didn't really talk about a lot of policies.
Or planning either.
No
Too.
planning, no policies. It was
Yep.
very broad and very short. And even if she wanted to try and bring something up, she really just never did, anyways.
Yeah.
David Muir and Lindsay Davis sat there and only corrected me on things where I was right, but didn't correct Kamala on Project 25 that I knew nothing about, on the bloodbath hoax that has been totally debunked, which had to do with the automobile industry that is going to be dying. It's dying under this administration. They're all going to be shipped out to China. And everybody in the automobile industry making, manufacturing automobiles, vote for Trump. We're going to bring back that industry. These people are killing it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, it's W.
She talked about knowing it was all false. She talked about the Charlottesville hoax, and these people did nothing about it, which has been totally debunked, as they say, by Snopes and Snoops and everybody else. Hey, go look it up. Go to Snoops, whatever the hell that is. No, I hear that's a liberal site, and they came out totally in favor of me. That's got to be a bad thing, but they said they gave you total phony stories. Kamala Harris said that no state allows abortion in the 9th month, which is a complete and total lie. They do. They do. And even after birth in some cases, she claimed, I want to monitor women's pregnancies. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. It's a total lie. I don't want to do that. Women, I won't be following you around to the hospital monitoring. No, she made it up. She's a liar. She doesn't work at McDonald's. She said she worked at McDonald's, right? Right? She worked at McDonald's and she was working so hard. There's only one problem. She didn't work at McDonald's. She's a liar. Liar. She claimed that I want to deny people IVF treatment when in fact I want to require insurance companies to pay for it. And I came out totally in favor of IVF. That's fertilization for the men in the audience. I wish we got a lot of tough ones here. She claims she doesn't want to ban fracking when she said repeatedly over a 10-year period, I will not have fracking. Then about a little while ago, she goes, I'd love to have fracking.
That makes sense.
Came back and said, this is not good. In Pennsylvania, you want to ban fracking, that's not so good. That's a big part of what they do, right? And she came back. She came back. All of a sudden, she thought fracking was wonderful. Here's what happens with all of these things. Right after the election, she goes back to where she was. She claims she doesn't support mass gun confiscation, when in fact, she supported it entirely, and through her entire career, think of that, she wants to confiscate your guns. Does anybody in the audience have a gun? Raise your hand.
Take your respect.
Would you mind
King
if this
Aura.
lunatic knocked on your door? Hello, I'd like to take away your gun. Is that all right?
Is that all right?
Let me just take this.
Especially the women won't allow it. They're not going to allow it. That's unbelievable. What is that, about 100% of the audience? Let's go. Does anybody in the audience not have a gun? Wait, there's somebody. So if you want to keep your gun, we don't have to go through the rest of it. You want to keep your gun, vote for Trump, okay? I promise.
Yes, sir.
W Mans.
But you know, she did something even worse than that. You know what it is? She was the leader of a thing called a movement, Defund the Police. How about that? She was the leader of the movement to defund the police. Now think of it. Anybody that wants to defund the police, that's called, she's down and dirty left, okay? That's down and dirty. If she's in there for a week at defund the police, we don't want her to be president. We don't want her for anything, frankly. But all of a sudden, she says, no, I never said it. You know, she actually goes around saying she never said it. But we've got like 10 years.
She was like pushing that really hard. Her and Joe Biden were pushing that really hard back in like 2020, right? I think it was something like that.
Well, no, because Trump was technically still in office in 2020. But
Yeah.
toward that era, that was one of the things that they were going off of when all the riots and stuff were happening during
Yeah.
the whole ordeal and all that back then.
Craziness.
Years of tapes where she's saying it, with the guns, with the fracking, with everything we mentioned. She had many years of tapes, but the public was not fooled. They saw right through it. Kamala's lies and unprecedented partisan interference of two low-life anchors. They're low-lives. For them to do what they did, and they wouldn't correct her on like Project 25. I don't know what the hell it is. I purposely have not read it. I could, but I don't want to, because they never had my authorization. And for them to allow her to get away with me, everything I said, well, we don't think it's true, like the crime statistics. The FBI didn't report the most crime-ridden cities. They didn't do it. They left out large numbers of areas where they had a lot of crime. So the numbers came in, they weren't up too much. And if anybody in this audience doesn't think there's more crime now, there's so much more crime now. But they gave false and fraudulent numbers. They did it with something else. 818,000 jobs. Think of it. They said they had 818,000 jobs that didn't exist. So your jobs numbers look better. But now they had to do. What happened is they were taken away by a leaker. Usually I don't like leakers, but I like this particular leaker, whoever it was. But when a prize fighter loses a fight, you've seen a lot of fights, right? The first words out of that fighter's mouth is, I want a rematch. I want a rematch. And that's what she said, I want a rematch. Polls clearly show that I won the debate against Comrade Kamala Harris. And as you probably know, because you know when you say Harris, does anybody know who Harris is? Now, Kamala is a very different kind of a word. Nice name, very nice name. But you know her as Kamala. You don't know her as Harris. When you say Harris, everyone says, who the hell is that, right? But she immediately called for a second debate, which means that she was like a prize fighter that lost a fight. We had two debates, though. I had a debate with crooked Joe Biden, right? And I had another debate with her. She and crooked Joe have destroyed our country. with millions of criminals and mentally deranged people pouring into the USA, totally unchecked, unvetted, and with inflation bankrupting our middle class, it has gotten bad. Everyone knows this, and all of the other problems caused by Kamala and Joe. It was discussed in great detail during the first debate with Joe and the second debate with Comrade Harris. She was a no-show at the Fox debate. You know, Fox invited her. She was a no-show. I sat with...
What a surpriser right there.
Yeah, super. So wow, typical.
the great Sean Hannity. Does anybody know Sean Hannity?
Cool.
Good man. He's a good man. And I said, where is she? She didn't show. So we did a town hall. And he got great ratings on that town hall, I'll tell you right now. Got really great. Led all of television for the week. It's not bad, right? Simple town hall. Turned out to be a town hall from what it was supposed to be, but she didn't show up. And refused also to do NBC and CBS. She went over to ABC, which in my opinion has taken a big hit because these two people were bad news. They kept screaming at me. I said, why are you screaming? I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at him. I always liked him. I'm not going to watch him anymore. I'm not going to watch him because he's not legit. What he did, I'm not going to watch him.
We basically already know that them, answers Kamala already knew. Like, basically.
Yeah.
She knew it wasn't going to be like anything, like hard,
Yeah. Of course. GTA 5, of course.
And
Of course.
his hair's not as
Only
good
in
as it
GTA
used to
5.
be, you know? Kamala should focus on what she should have done during the last almost 4-year period. She kept complaining, well, when I'm in, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And at the end of the debate, I said, why don't you just do it? You could leave right now. Why don't you do it? I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this and that and that. Remember at the convention
do it
when
now
she
if you
went
want.
out and they nominated
Yeah.
her, even though she got no votes, they nominated. No, she came in
Biden.
last place in the primaries, right? And then she said, Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. No, she's a threat to democracy. She is a threat to democracy. But do you remember when she went out and she said thank you? Do you remember that? It was the weirdest thing. Am I wrong? Because they were saying JD and I are weird. No, we're very solid people. She's weird. And that vice president of hers is really weird. He's really... That was a soundbite. They said, oh, he's weird. That was, in other words, they gave it to their friends in the fake news. Weird. It's something I've never called. I've been called a lot of bad things, but not weird. But, she went out and the people were applauding and stuff. And she goes, thank you. 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 I think she went nuts. There was something wrong with her. But I was very happy because I got the endorsement of the vice president's family. And I got the endorsement of the vice president's brother. And even sent me a contribution. And I was very happy because Barack Hussein Obama, his brother, as you know, endorsed me. So, no, his brother endorsed me. That's not easy. Now, so we have the endorsement of President Obama's brother. We have the endorsement of the brother.
That's pretty crazy, to be honest.
That is. We gotta look that
Who
up
would have
then.
Who would have thought that day would have came?
Yeah,
No one.
Definitely gotta look that up.
We're definitely gonna have to do some research on that for sure.
Of the future vice president, he better not win. If he ever won, this country will be in bad shape. It's already in bad shape. 3.5 years of what they've done to this country, especially, look, we're laughed at all over the world. We would have never had the Russia-Ukraine problem. We would have never had October 7th, Israel, the attack on Israel. None of these things, and we wouldn't have had inflation. And we wouldn't have had that horrible, the way we pulled out in
And super high crime.
Yeah.
Afghanistan was so horrible. None of those things would have happened. We would have had a much different country. And we wouldn't have 21 million people in our country right now that shouldn't be here. That I can tell you. So because we've done 2 debates and because they were successful, there will be no third debate. It's too late anyway. The voting's already begun. You got to go out and vote. We got to vote. This is going to be the most important vote in the history of our country. It'll be the most important. People said that I was angry at the debate. Angry. I was angry. And yes, I am angry because he allowed 21 million illegal aliens invading our communities. Many of them are criminals. Many are criminals. I'm angry.
So tough.
I'm angry. They said he's an angry person. No, they're destroying our country. I don't like. She's smiling. All practice, right? Did you see her? She's like a.
That's how she was like the whole entire time.
Invasion, the likes of which no country has ever suffered, and she's like this. But I am angry about Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora, Colorado. And illegal Haitians, and he came in, illegal Haitian migrants taking over a beautiful place. It was so beautiful. Springfield, Ohio. I was there. I campaigned there a while ago. Springfield, it was so beautiful. Now it's just, what a place. Can you imagine you have this small little community, all of a sudden you have 20,000 illegals in your community. Nobody knows where they come from. I'm angry about young American girls being raped and sodomized and murdered by savage criminal aliens. I'm angry about rampant inflation destroying our middle class, and the American people are also very angry about that and every other thing that we've had to endure for 3.5 years. That's why 54 days from now, we are going to tell Harris that we've had enough. Our country can't take it anymore. We're going to go, Comrade Kamala Harris, you've done a horrible job. You've been the worst vice president in the history of our country. You had no chance of getting this position. You shouldn't have had it. You got no votes, whether you like Biden or not. He got 14 million votes. He had none, not one. We're going to go, Comrade, you're fired. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Gee.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So, thank you. Wasn't The Apprentice a great show, though? Do you think if I didn't do The Apprentice, because that's a big question, because a lot of people in Hollywood are blaming themselves for this. They're saying if we didn't do The Apprentice, he wouldn't be. But you know, they all vote for me, you know that, because they want to pay low taxes. They talk about, no, we don't like Trump. But when they go to vote, they go, anybody watch? It's true. They want low taxes, no crime, great schools, strong military. They don't want a border invasion. They don't want people pouring across the border illegally from prisons and places. So they go in, they say, no, I'm not for Trump at all. I will never vote for him. Then they go in. It's true. And then they go out and they do exit polls. And you know, in 2016 and 2020, where I got many more, millions more votes, by the way, I hate to say that. They say, oh, that's a conspiracy theorist. No, it's called, I got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country. And they said we lost. I was told if I got 63 million votes, which is what I got in 2016, you can't lose. Just get 63. I got close to 12 million more votes than that, and we lost, but we didn't lose. And we're never going to let that happen again in this country. We're never going to let that happen. We can't let that happen again. But when they had exit polls, 2016, and they said, oh, he's getting killed in the exit polls. And I remember NBC and that stupid ABC that did this horrible debate. Those two people should be fired as an anchor. A couple of more years, they'll be fired. And she was nasty. She looked at me with hatred in her eyes. And him, he's a nice guy. I mean, they were told to do it by George Slobodopoulos, who's in the group, right? George Slobodopoulos. But on the exit polls, so people are walking out and they're saying, would like to know something, sir. Who'd you vote for? And they'd say, Crooked Hillary or Trump, right? But so many of them, like almost 50%, said, none of your business who we voted for. They have a tougher word, 2 words, not like Biden, 1 word, and then he gives 2. 2 words. They begin with the letters F-U. That's what they say to the people. F-U. I would never say them because we have a lot of young people here. My audience they've gotten younger and younger. Do you notice that? Younger and younger. Don't worry, I still like the old people the best. I don't care. I don't care. Let that cost me, all these young people. Let that cost me the election. I still like the old people the best.
That's crazy.
Got to stay with the people that got
Well, it's over.
Yep, Smee's
you
voting
there,
voting
right?
for Kamala. Wow.
I love what
Yep.
we're doing for the old people. You'll hear. But so that was the 2 words, but I don't want to use those words. So they said, none of your business, which is not really what they said. And they walked out, and everybody said, Trump is finished. He's not getting the numbers. Because in the past, nobody said that. They'd say, I'm voting for this one or that one. There were no people that wouldn't say, they'd just say who they voted for. So what they did, thank you, darling, thank you. So what they did, just keep saying, I love you, right in the middle of my punchlines. So they always say one or the other. And I had one analyst who was very smart, but I was called by Fox, this person at Fox, sir, I'm sorry, sir, it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. And they say, this 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because, they've interviewed all these people. And another one would call me. They all said, oh, they were actually happy. Most of them were happy. Some were really sad, though. A lot of the people were really sad. So it came out, this is going to be a very short evening for Donald Trump. They were so happy. Martha Raddatz was actually crying at the end when I won. She was crying. You don't think she's biased, do you?
That's when you know it's bad. Someone crying.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Martha Raddatz, also of ABC. ABC is the worst of the group, by the way, I have to tell you. They're all bad. But the worst is ABC, and they proved that with the worst 2 anchors anybody's ever seen on this thing. They were the worst. At least they shouldn't have been so obvious, right? So anyway, so I walked out, and the people walked in, and I was getting calls that thousands of people all over the country. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Then one guy calls me up who's a political, brilliant guy, and he said, sir, and, I went to see, I don't think I've ever told this story. I went to see our great First Lady, and I said, darling, I got home from Michigan. I was in Michigan last stop. And I got home from Michigan at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I had a rally. We had 42,000 people. At 1 o'clock, I did 7 rallies. I started in Florida. I went from Florida, where it was 88, to Michigan, where it was 20 degrees below zero. I said, if you don't catch a pneumonia in this business, you're never going to catch a pneumonia, right? But I went to our great First Lady and I said, darling, and I felt okay. It was amazing because, you know, the athletes, they say, I left it on the field. I left it all on the field. Well, I did, because I did 7 major rallies for 2 days, 7 each. Who the hell could do that? People were saying nobody else could do it. You think Biden could do it? I don't think so. I don't think Biden would do 7. I don't know if he'd do 1.
I was gonna say I don't even think he would do like 2, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He'd do 1 that would last for about 3 minutes. Now, we did major rallies, you know, speak for an hour, hour and a half sometimes, go to the next state. We got all up and down. We went off everywhere. But this one guy calls up. So everyone had called me. I had a young gentleman in my family came to see me. Sir, you haven't lost, but it's not looking good. This is at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on election day, right? And I said, it's all right. Don't worry about it. So I went to see my wife, and I said, you know, I don't feel the way I thought I'd feel. I thought I'd be like devastated, but I left it all out. And if we don't make it, but it looks not good. She said, does it look like you're not going to win? I said, it really looks that way. And we'll get by it. It's one of those things, but I was very disappointed. But I just felt it wasn't like, gee, if only I worked a little bit harder, because humanly, you couldn't work harder. Then about 5:30, I get a call from a very smart political guy. And he goes, sir, I'd like to congratulate you. I said, on what? He said, you won this election.
So tough.
And
G, straight G.
I said, what do you mean I won the election? I was told by every pundit that I lost the election. He said, no, you won the election. I'm 95% sure, because we've never seen so many people leaving an election that said, it's none of your business, right? Meaning, you know what? It's none of your business. We've never seen that before. A massive number, like almost 50%. Who do you vote for? None of your business. He said, every single one of those people belong to you. They're our people, whether we like it or not. And he said, you're going to win Florida, you're going to win Georgia, you're going to win all these states. I think you're going to win because, you know, normally it would be like 5%, 10% might say it. You've got 50%. There's never been anything like that. And I believe all those votes are your votes. I said, well, all right, good. And then all of a sudden they came out and the rest is history, right? The polls closed. And they started with Donald Trump. So Florida closed at 8 o'clock or whatever. And within like seconds, it closed. Florida polls have closed. Donald Trump has won the great state of Florida. Donald Trump has won the great state of Georgia. Donald Trump, and went all the way up the East Coast, all over the place. And we ended up winning. That was quite a day, wasn't it, though? And then we did much better the second time, much better, much better. And then, but this is going to be the time, because we've never had the enthusiasm that we have now. We've never had it. Because now you see how bad they're doing. You know, you see how bad. Before, you didn't really, there was nothing to judge, right? Because I was the president, we did great. We had a great economy. We got hit with COVID, which is China. And, you know, people didn't really think in terms of that. It was a terrible thing, but we got hit. The whole world got hit. The world, $62 trillion and millions of deaths all over the world. The world got hit. Everybody, Abe in Japan was devastated by it. So many people were devastated. Good people, very good people, great people, actually. But what happened was amazing, and now they see how bad a job they've done. Think of it. The inflation, the economy is terrible. Everything's terrible. We're not respected in the world. A war that would have never happened with Russia and Ukraine started. A situation in Israel would have never, ever happened. Never, ever happened. And that's a disaster. The whole Middle East is blowing up. Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, said, you got to bring Trump back or this whole world is going to blow up. So we're going to do things, but I will tell you, so 16 was great, 20 was better, and this one blows both of them away because we've never seen the enthusiasm. Like, look at this crowd. We've never seen the enthusiasm that we have. So I'm pleased to be joined this afternoon by the next senator from Arizona, and we're going to call her a different name. She
That was 30 minutes. It's good.
Yeah, I think that was honestly really good. Yeah, exactly.
What do you want to look up?
Exactly.
What do you want to look up now? The Barack Obama thing or whatever?
Yeah, let's look up Barack Obama's brother. See if we can find a story on that real quick.
Brother, what should I type in? Brother,
Just type in Barack Obama's brother voting for him.
endorses.
Oh yeah, do that.
Didn't spell that wrong at all. It says half brother. He's voting for Trump right here, apparently. Okay.
Is that a video? Oh.
Wait. God.
Does it talk about it at all?
No, it just it comes
Alright,
up with
scroll down.
captions.
Go ahead, Smee. You can read this time.
Can't really see with these glasses on, bro. It's so hard.
Typical. I don't read it for you, Jesus. Can't even see it because of the stupid cord. Former President Barack Obama, half brother, has voiced his support for Donald Trump and launched an online diatribe, against Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. Aban Go Malik Obama and a Kenyan American businessman and politician and the older half brother of the former president through their father, Barack Obama Sr. Despite an initially close relationship, the outspoken Malik has cast off the fraternal ties, becoming a frequent critic of his brother and the Democrats. In a stalwart, whatever the heck that means, supporter of Trump. Okay, what else? I am Malik Obama. I'm a registered Republican. I am voting for President Trump. Born Malik wrote on X on Wednesday. Huh.
There's the
Yep.
tweet right there, so you can actually see it's real. What else does it say?
That's actually very interesting to know that.
Yeah, that is.
You got Barack Obama's brother's endorsement. Basically got Biden's endorsement, you know.
Yeah, with that hat. Jesus. He's officially voting for Trump in 2024.
In GTA 5, of course.
GTA 5. Everything that you see in this video is GTA 5, of course. No.
Of course.
It's not real.
Yeah. Is money real?
No, money isn't real.
I like that. I think this is good though. I could definitely make this with a video, make it into a video. Say, I think it definitely went good. Over 30 minutes. I like that. But all right, guys. Thank you. If you get anyone tuned in, thank you. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Anywhere in between, basically 8:30 to 9:30, if that. We might go a little bit earlier. Never know what happens. Never know. But I'll talk to you all. We'll see you. And peace out.